Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel. Peter Likes Books. And I have so many videos that I want to make over here, and I get to the end of my day and then I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to make another video because I make so many videos on so many channels. And it is currently 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. I've been up since 7:30 this morning. I filmed the longest vlog I have ever filmed on my vlog channel, and then I turned around and I filmed in almost, I think it was like 58 minutes on my drama channel, and then I was like, okay, what video should I film next? My husband is inside eating some leftover chicken fingers and fries from last night that he threw up in the air fryer, and I was like, should I make a Peterism video? Should I do this? I was like, you know what? I want to show these graphic novels that I just purchased because I'm back into wanting to read graphic novels again, but I only had one of them that I'd ordered 4, and only one of them had come so far. So I was like, I wish these graphic novels had come so I could make this video. And then I was sitting out here talking on the phone, and sure enough, the Amazon truck shows up with my graphic novels. I was like, okay, this is a sign from the universe that I should make this video today. So here are my new graphic novels, and I want to kind of explain this to you. So I went through this period. I actually talked about this on my vlog today. There were these graphic novels that I got a couple years ago. I think I got them on Thrift Books or Amazon or something. I can't remember. I looked them up today. They're very, very hard to get. They are by an author named Esther Watson, and they are called The Unlovable books. And there's 3 books in the series. They're kind of, I think, they're more cartoons, but like a book series of cartoons, like Linda Berry, than they are like graphic novels. But I think a lot of people would consider them graphic novels, right? I don't really know the true definition of a graphic novel, but when I look up graphic novel and I find things, right? So anyway, but I loved it. It was about this teenager, and her name was, I think, Tammy, and it was like in the 80s, and she lived with her mom and her brother. I think it was her mom and her brother, or her dad and her brother, and she just kind of like really thought she was with it and all this kind of stuff, when really she was kind of a loser. And I so relate to it because it was kind of like me and my friends in high school, and the pop culture references and stuff are so similar to me in high school. Well, I also used to love, way back in the day, like back before I got sober, the Linda Berry Down the Street Kids books, which was focused around 2 sisters named Monn and Marlis. I love those books. It's So Magic is probably one of my favorite books of life, and it's by Linda Berry, the cartoonist. And I think you would consider those graphic novels today, but back in the day they were just books of cartoons, and I loved them so much. They were so relatable, and the family members in there and stuff like that. My friends and I, we used to quote those back in the day. I have a really good friend of mine. If you watch my vlog, you'll know what I'm talking about, but it's my friend from kindergarten, elementary school, junior high, high school, college, and graduate school. We used to literally quote things. If I called her up today and I said, bounce on the fence, bounce on the fence, bounce on the fence, she would know I was talking about Teresa Watford, who was a character in those books. Or there was this one part where they got this turtle island, and they had a turtle that like went around this, it was like a real turtle, but it played on this island. And then one day they came home and the turtle island was crashed, and the turtle was gone. They didn't know what happened to the turtle. And they said to their mom, they're like, man, wait till you get a turtle. If I called my friend up on the phone today and I go, man, wait till you get a turtle, she would die laughing. She would know exactly what I was talking about. So I've loved like these cartoon graphic novels for a while. I read the Unlovable series a couple years ago and just fell in love with it all over, the graphic novel cartoon stuff. It's an easy read for me, right? But I love just like the illustrations and getting into it. Well, then the Heartstopper series came out, and somebody recommended them to me, and so I started reading the Heartstopper series, the graphic novels, and this was long before the show, and from book 1, I just was like, okay, if these had existed when I was in middle school or high school, they would have literally saved my life. Like, I would have felt seen. I would have felt like there were books out there that had representation. When I was in high school and in middle school, and really in college, there really were no books, movies, TV shows that had much representation of the LGBTQIA+ community. So if I had had those Heartstopper books when I was growing up, they would have saved my life. Like literally, I would have felt seen. I wouldn't have felt so all alone. I would have felt normalized. And so I think that those books are phenomenal. I love Alice Oseman, the author, and I've read, you know, Solitaire, Radio Silence, and others, and all those books. This Winter, which was the side book to the Heartstopper series and things like that. So when this book came, I was actually online months ago looking for the next installment, which I guess is the final installment of the Heartstopper series, which kind of makes me sad. It's the 5th edition, or not 5th edition, it's the 5th book in the Heartstopper series, and I guess it's the last book in the Heartstopper series. I think she's ending it after that. I'm not sure. So when I was on there, it was supposed to come out right away, and then they moved it to December. I think the release date is December 12th. I recently just pre-ordered it. I think I pre-ordered it. I have a feeling I might have like 3 coming here, and if I do, then I'll give the other 2 away. I'll do a giveaway on here. Because I feel like every time I look it up, I pre-order it. So if I have like 3 or 4 or 2 of them coming, I'll give the other one away. I'll do a giveaway over here. But I pre-ordered it again. It comes out on December 12th, and so it's like you get it the day that it comes out. I'm so excited about it because I did that with the last one that came out. So anyway, months ago, when I was looking it up, I saw in there the Alice Oseman book, the Heartstopper yearbook. And I was like, oh, I don't know what that is. And so I actually think I thought it was something else. And so I ordered this book off of Amazon. And I just was completely like perplexed when it came. I was like, what is this? I honest to God, when I got it, I thought it would be like the characters' yearbooks where they like sign things to each other or little stories and they're written by the characters and stuff like that. And that is totally not what it is at all. The book is from the beginning of her writing the series, how she came up with the series, how she started drawing these characters, the evolution of the characters, how she got the series. It talks about the Netflix series in there. It talks about just all of it, her love of the characters. It shows each of the characters. It shows like their favorite songs, their likes, their dislikes, even the dogs. It shows like inside the houses of Nick and Charlie. It talks about Tori. It's really fantastic. I have to tell you, it's more into the writer of Alice. I never know if it's Oseman or Osman, but it's more into the mind of Alice Oseman than it is about the characters. I mean, it is so much about the characters, but it's really about what motivated her and inspired her to write the series, and it shows like the evolution of the series as it went, like where the drawing started and where they ended up and how we ended up getting these characters. So it's really, really interesting. I would highly recommend it. Well, I finished it the other night. It took me I read like a couple pages of a graphic novel at a time unless I'm really into it, and then I just like tear right through it. So this one actually took me like 3 or 4 weeks to read, because I would read like 3 or 4 pages and I would stop. Then I would read like 3 or 4 pages and I would stop. So I read this one I got finished with it the other night, and I was like, I really want to read some more graphic novels. When I was reading the Heartstopper series, I got on like Amazon and I looked up books like Heartstopper or something like that. I put in there, right? And I can show you my whole collection of graphic novels if you guys ever want to see it. But there was a period where I just was reading graphic novels like crazy. I didn't care what they were. I was reading them because I just loved them for a while, right? I've also just recently started the manga Orange. I'm on book 1. I'm not that far into it. I got it years ago when it was like a big deal on BookTube. And then I started reading it, and then I stopped. This time I'm like, I'm going to read this series. I'm really, really enjoying it so far. I'm not even like an eighth of the way through it yet, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I haven't really read much manga before, so it's interesting to read. Like, I'm kind of like adapting to reading from the back to the front and things like that. But I mean, it's really good. It's really, really an interesting story. It's about this girl that gets a letter from her future self to herself today, and like making choices off this. It's really interesting. So anyway, but at that time, I got this graphic novel, and it was called Bloom, and it's absolutely beautiful. And yet again, another graphic novel that, had I had that when I was in high school, it would have saved my life. Like, I would have felt seen. I wouldn't have felt all alone. And so at that time, I just started like massively buying all these graphic novels. You guys, some of you that watch my channel over here for a long time, you might remember that I was also buying like graphic novels of classics. Like, I like To Kill a Mockingbird. I can't remember what other ones I got. The Diary of Anne Frank, which I got like some way through. I did not love that one. The illustrations are beautiful, but I did not love the telling of it, the retelling of it. A Wrinkle in Time, Anne of Green Gables. I still haven't read those, but I flip through them and stuff like that. They're beautifully done. They're hardback like this, but like bigger than this. They're beautiful editions. So if you're looking for Christmas gifts for somebody, I mean, they love those books. The Anne of Green Gables is the one, and the Anne of Green Gables, the Diary of Anne Frank, and the To Kill a Mockingbird ones are beautiful. The Wrinkle in Time is beautiful too, but it's just more of like, it's smaller like this. So I bought a lot of those classics, but then I just didn't really read them because the retelling of them in cartoon was so different. I think I got the Game of Thrones one too. I mean, I was buying like anything that was a graphic novel that I thought I might be interested in. So, but then I stopped. I kind of stopped for a while after I read like the last Heartstopper one. Then I picked up this one and I was like, I want to buy some more graphic novels. So I got on Amazon and I purchased these. So let's go through these. One of them is a Christmas one. The other ones are all LGBTQIA plus young adult graphic novels that were recommended on Amazon. So the first one, and I think this might be manga, but maybe. Nope, it's not. Okay, and this one is, or maybe it's considered that, I don't know, but it is called Slip, and it is by Marika Makula and, I don't want to mispronounce the name, Atmaha Apandya. It's, you guys, this is such a beautiful cover, is it not? Look at this. When you open it, it has a sleeve in there and everything like that, and the illustrations are beautiful inside. So, how do you move on when you're not ready to let go? Just as Jade is about to leave for summer art program, her best friend Phoebe attempts suicide. How is Jade supposed to focus on her ceramics when Phoebe is in so much pain? At the art farm, Jade is thrust into a whirlwind of creation critiques and the fervor of her fellow artists. As she gets to know her classmates, she begins to fall for upbeat, whimsical Mary. The art farm is competitive. Jade's teachers are the art farm is competitive. Jade's teachers are exacting. Overwhelmed, Jade pours herself and her emotions into making day creatures. When she fires them in the kiln, something unreal happens. They come to life, running wild and wreaking havoc. If Jade won't confront her problems are going to confront her. Including the scariest of them all, if Jade finds a way to grow, thrive, and even fall in love this summer, is she leaving Phoebe behind? I just love these very, very real books like this, and I just am so excited to read this. Beautiful, isn't it? Love it so much. So I just literally went down and looked at the ones that were recommended, and the next one that I got was this one that's called, another beautiful cover, Juliet Takes a Breath, and this is by Gabby Rivera and Celia Mascot. Isn't that such a beautiful cover? I love that. Beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful inside. A new graphic novel adaptation. Oh, it's an adaptation of the best-selling book. Julia Milagros Palante is leaving the Bronx and headed to Portland, Oregon. She just came out to her family and isn't sure if her mom will ever speak to her again. But don't worry. Juliet has something kind of resembling a plan that'll help her figure out what it means to be Puerto Rican, lesbian, and out. See, she's going to intern with Harlow Brisbane, her favorite author, whose latest book on feminism and finding power in your body has Juliet ready to stomp the patriarchy and fall forever in love with herself. There's just one problem. Harlow's clueless, not from the Bronx, and doesn't have the answer. Or wait, there's just one problem. Harlow's clueless, not from the Bronx, and doesn't have the answers. Okay, maybe that's more than one problem, but Juliet never said it was a perfect plan. Critically acclaimed writer Gabby Rivera adapts her best-selling novel alongside artist Celia Mascot in an unforgettable queer coming-of-age story exploring race, identity, and what it means to be true to your amazing self, even when the rest of the world doesn't understand. Very excited to read this one. This might be the one I start with next. And then the last one is called Blackwater. Another beautiful cover. I love this. This one's like pretty thick. Jeanette Roa and Ben Graham. How do I know her name? Have I read something by her before? Let's go back here and look at her. Hold on a second. Jeanette Roa was born and raised in New Mexico, but recently relocated to the Rainier, Seattle area. In addition to her first graphic novel, Blackwater, she has also done freelance. I feel like I know her from something else. Okay, so this is what it's about. This is the back of it. Welcome to the haunted town of Blackwater. Tony Price is a popular high school track star and occasional delinquent aching for his dad's attention and approval. Eli Hirsch is a quiet boy with a chronic autoimmune disorder that has ravaged his health and social life. What happens when these two become unlikely friends, and a whole lot more, in the spooky town of Blackwater, Maine? Werewolf curses, unsavory interactions in the quarterback of the football team, a ghostly fisherman haunting the harbor, and tons of high school drama. So that's what this one's about. This is probably the one I'm least interested in all honesty, but it looks good anyway. And then I wanted something Christmassy. And this one looks so cheesy, you guys, but I don't care. And I got A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I have to tell you that it literally looks like reading a cartoon out of the newspaper. It's pretty cheesy inside, but I don't care. I'm still going to read it. A wonderful Christmas Carol. A wonderful, intriguing, joyful mystery about Christmas. I never considered A Christmas Carol a mystery, is it? Mystery, a wonderful, intriguing, joyful mystery about Christmas. One of its most heartwarming stories ever written. A Christmas Carol is without question one of Charles Dickens' greatest works. This extremely popular story introduces some of the most timeless, internationally known characters such as Scrooge, the unforgettable miser Bob Cratchit, the underpaid clerk, and Tiny Tim, Cratchit's frail, loving son. The story is synonymous with the festive and giving spirit of Christmas and is one of the most widely read classics of all time. I might read this towards the end of the holiday season before Christmas, because it's like, I don't know how many pages is this. It's 63 pages. It's gonna take me, I don't know, a day to read. So And I went and I looked at other Christmas graphic novels, and it was like Krampus was one of them, like the horror movie Krampus. So if you guys have other Christmas or any other graphic novels that are your favorites, let me know in the comment section below. And also, if you have any manga that you love, let me know in the comment section below. Because for me, it's always just an easy extra book to be reading while I'm reading, like, you know, paperback, and I'm also listening to audiobooks. And I can have 3 books going at the same time. So let me know any of your recommendations in the comment section below. That's my haul for the day. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.